Are you seeking guidance on your spiritual journey? Need help with a vexing problem? Missing a loved one and looking for answers? Look no further than Psychic Insights, a small trusted psychic service offering mediums, psychics, and spiritual coaching. This service is managed by Hollis Taylor, a gifted psychic medium, astrologer, and a compassionate coach. We are dedicated to helping you navigate your spiritual awakening. At Psychic Insights, we provide medium readings and psychic insight to help you plan for tomorrow and make choices for today. Find the support you need, compassionate grief coaching, and astrological insights to help you spiritually grow and transform. Our professional services include well-managed schedules, recorded sessions, and reliable psychic mediums ready to facilitate your transformational experience. Discover more at psychicinsights.life.
Oh my gosh, I do that all the time. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Hi, Nikki Beeler. Hoping to hear from Bert or Travis or any loved ones. I love these lives. They're so healing for me. That's so awesome, Nikki. That's so good. I'm glad. We love gratitude around Psychic Insights. I know I do. Hi, Michelle. And Michelle said, "Good evening, Hollis and Sarah. Really hope my brother has a message for me." Okay, well, we'll see. Hi, Nikki. I'm sure he has a message for you. I've never found a spirit that didn't have a message. Have you?
No.
Yeah, it's never happened before. So, I'm Hollis, and to those of you that don't know me, I'm Hollis, and I run Psychic Insights, and I'm a medium and a mentor and all kinds of other things. I have a bunch of experience, and this is Sarah Redcrow. And tonight we're going to be doing free live readings, little mini readings for you. And they're going to be spirit led. So, what does that mean? Well, it's actually pretty simple to understand. See, because if you said, "Hey, Sarah, pick somebody to do a reading," she'd be like, okay, it would be really hard to make a choice. Not just because I'm a Libra moon, because Libras struggle with making choices, but it's just because it would be hard. Because, we don't know your situation. And then if you told us your situation, then it wouldn't even be fair to do a reading. It's silly. It's weird. Okay. So we let spirit lead. Okay. That's what it means. We let spirit choose who gets the reading. And maybe some of you are meant to witness the readings. You're meant to be part of the reading somehow. Or maybe there's some part of the messages for you too, because spirits definitely communicate on a higher level much differently than we do. So sometimes that's why it's a little bit harder for us humans to try to interpret those messages. Your loved ones are always with you, though. I assure you, you can hear them. You can even communicate with them, and I'll be happy to show you how. Okay, you can communicate with them. I promise you, you can. No matter what, even if you think you're not psychic, you can, because we were all built in with this, because we need to be able we need to be able to communicate with our spirit guides, okay? So we're going to do spirit-led readings. So Sarah's going to start bringing energies from the other side, and hopefully you're going to listen, and you're going to say something if this matches with someone you know, okay? That's on the other side. Hi, Samantha. And hi, Melissa. And Lily, welcome. And Kathy, it's good to glad you're here. Hi, Nancy. Nancy Ray. Hi, Beth. Yeah, you're welcome, Beth. And Shauna said, "I swear on everything, I highly suggest a reading from Sarah. It's like having a conversation with your loved one." And Hollis is absolutely amazing with my chart readings. I do astrology death chart readings is what Shauna is referring to. It's I take a look at your astrology chart and help you understand why they died, when, and what what that meaning? What's that all about? Why did they die then? And what are you supposed to learn from this? And how are you supposed to go forward? That's pretty much what the astrology will tell you. Uh, Thank you, Samantha. Look at that. Samantha's agreeing with Shauna. Some of you have had readings with us. Hi, John. Good evening. Hi, Glow. Hi, Nelia. It's great to have you all with us. And hi, Brandy. Welcome. And hi, Melissa Nicole. I'm so glad you made it to another live. And hi, Tina McDonald from Australia. And Julia Nicole Simpson said, best astrological person ever. Thank you, Julia. I appreciate that. I have a strong passion for astrology. Did you know? I just want to say, even for Sarah having this new awakening, for me having a new awakening, the sun and Pluto were conjunct in Aquarius. And this is all about new perspectives. It's a new chapter in our lives. This is chapter 1. So if you feel like you're starting a new chapter, you are. And this is chapter 1. So, and it actually was on Monday, Tuesday. So if you do the math there, you'll be like, wasn't that the United States inauguration? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So I know that that could be hard for some of you, and my heart totally goes out to you. And I know that it is hard, but try to come to the understanding that there's something bigger unfolding here. Okay, something bigger unfolding here. Hi, Sarah Smile, and hi, Yvonne. And I don't think we should own Canada. Just saying, Sarah, since you live in Canada.
Oh.
It's a political joke. I said that Canada's like our next state or some stupid shit like that.
Yeah, I think I heard something about that. I was like, okay.
I was like, what? Shut up. Okay. Shauna was like, I'm just holding space and I hope everybody gets what they need today. Is the 8th month anniversary of my boyfriend's passing, and I'm having a really rough day with the landlord drama. And I'm barely hanging on. I'm just holding space. I hope everyone gets what they need. And I'm sending love and light. All right, Shauna. Thanks for praying for all of us. We all need something. I'm sure everyone's has their own struggle right now. I know I have my own struggle. I just got through surgery and I'm feeling better finally. And I had an awareness of things. Hi, Dee Dee Gilbert from Melbourne, Australia. Hi, Nancy Garbett. Nancy from Canada. Yeah, I don't want to own you either, Nancy. Just letting you know. It's not an American thing. It's just that jackass. So welcome. I'm glad you're all here. Hey, I'm non-binary. If they're watching this, they probably not into that guy anyway. So. Sarah, why don't you introduce yourself?
So, hello, everyone. I just want to say thank you for coming here tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you for your kindness, your love, your support. My name's Sarah Redcrow. I've always heard spirit, especially when I was a child, but being a kid, I didn't do anything about it. It wasn't until 3 years ago that my life completely changed. In November of 2021, my family caught the COVID virus. And yes, for those of you who don't believe in COVID, it's very real. I know that that's a touchy subject and it's still touchy with me. But anyways, from that virus, it not only stole my son's life, but it changed all of our lives, myself, my spouse, my daughters. And we have been doing everything to walk through this grief and to pick up the pieces. They'll never be put back the same again. But what I've learned is definitely you learn to move through your grief. And I know that especially in the beginning, that seems impossible. Even for me, some days, I still get kicked right back to day one. But just like everything, you get up and you try again. That's all that we can do. And, you know, our loved ones, just like how we think we are, it's kind of funny if you think about it. We are constantly thinking, are they okay? Are they safe? What are they doing? Do they miss me? And, you know, our loved ones think the same about us. They watch us and they just want us to be, they know, you know, they know that we can't be like running around, ooh, happy, happy, you know, things are different. It's things you have to get used to on both sides. But the one thing that I learned is that the best way to honor them is to embrace the good and the bad days. And just to know that they are still with us. They have their ways where they try to communicate. We just have to trust and listen. Anyways, when my son passed away, I remember just feeling like, what am I going to do? I had him when I was 15. He's my whole life. You know, my daughters are my whole life as well. All my kids are. I truly love being a mom. It's funny because when I sometimes see those jokes on Facebook, or when I was around some other like moms and they're like, oh, my kids are, you know, I just need some time to myself. And I was always the odd one out because they're like, right? And I was like, I don't know. I think my kids are pretty cool. And I'm not, I hope no one takes offense because I'm not judging. You know, I did have days where sometimes I'm like, okay, mom just needs time out. But the thing is I wasn't ready to say goodbye. So I learned how to say hello again through learning meditations. Then I found the group Mediumship, Communicating with the Dead, Grief and Loss. There I found Hollis. I did the discovery meeting, and Hollis can agree. I was a mess. And I remember asking them, do you think I can do this? I said, because I was unsure of myself, and I admitted that I'm trying to learn. And, instead of saying, oh, no, you can't do it, Hollis said, yeah, you can. And they taught me how to trust myself and believe in myself. And then I also met another who I see as a mentor to, Stacy Siegel Brickley. Combination between joining some of Hollis's online courses and Stacy's classes, they are an amazing support team. And each and every one of you here who come to these lives are also my support team. I just wanted to quickly mention, if you notice for my booking, it says Sarah Redcrow -2. And it was funny because when Hollis was trying to put my link, it would not go without the -2. And to me and Hollis, that makes perfect sense because it's not just me doing it. My son, he helps. He's the one who brings your loved ones from the other side of the veil. So it's not just me doing it, it's me and Jonah. So Sarah -2. I always share a picture of my son so everyone can see who's helping your loved ones. So this is my son. His name's Jonah. In this picture, he was 17. We were coming home from a walk, and that butterfly just happened to land on his shoulder. He just had a way about himself, even though he did not appreciate bugs of any kind. But he just had such a gentleness and an understanding. And in a way, he also, for those of you who've watched The Big Bang Theory, he also had Sheldon Cooper tendencies. My son was the light of my life and still is. Okay, so I want to share one more picture. Mind you, I'm 15 in this picture, very tired, new mom. So it's okay if you have a giggle at me, okay? I'm going through it. I wasn't emo, but looks that way. So, oops, sorry. That is me. And that little guy there is a very newborn Jonah. He was possibly 2 months old there. And yes, I look a hot mess in that picture, but it's one of my favorite pictures. So, the only thing I'll ask of each and every one of you is permission to work with your energy and that of your loved one. Feel free to ask your loved ones to step forward. Please don't be discouraged if you don't get a reading. It does not mean that they're not with you. Sometimes they get shy and, they'd like to do more of a private reading. A little funny story, because in the beginning, I always would jump on lives, and a few times my son would come through, but a lot of times he wouldn't. And it wasn't until one of the lives with Stacy that he made a brief appearance. But then just before the live was over, she messaged me and she says, your son would like to do a private reading. Do you mind? So I said, no, not at all. She was honestly lovely enough to not charge me at the moment. So, that was really great, because we all know that, especially in the beginning, things are expensive. But my son said that he didn't want to perform in front of everyone. And, that's true. He was a private person in life. So again, please don't be discouraged if your loved one doesn't come through tonight. It just means that they probably would rather a more private reading, or you wouldn't be surprised one day they'll just show up. It's kind of like, it's funny because how I saw this one that came through the reading, and I could tell she was nervous, but she was like, big breath in and I'm going to do it. And then she came forward. So just have faith and trust. Okay, so that's my story in a nutshell. And if you're ready to get into some readings, I'm ready to begin as well. Again, thank you, everyone. So I do have a lady stepping forward. She's wearing a long, kind of reminds me of like a summer dress, but a little bit longer, more flowing. It's white. The material looks very like, I keep on thinking the word like gauzy, but it's just not, it's not a heavy material. So anyway, she's showing me her, and it looks like she's walking along like a stone pebbled path. I see greenery on either side of her, some trees. She has longer, very dark hair. Her hair kind of came down to the middle of her back. She has beautiful almond-shaped eyes. Her skin is a little bit on the tanner side. Not, I want to, she gives me very like almost Hawaiian vibes. I can't really place her culture. So her hair is longer. It's really dark. I would almost say black. Really pretty almond-shaped eyes. Her eyes the color themselves, they're almost like a lighter, like amber brown, I want to say. She has like beautiful fuller lips. Oh, sorry, I was trying not to sneeze. Oh, sorry, excuse me. She has nice cheekbones. I noticed like her nose, it seems like a little bit more like the bridge, it seems a little bit more flatter. And the tip of her nose is a little bit more on the pointed. She's very nice jawline as well. She's thin build. I would put her for height wise, maybe about like 5'4", 5'5". She's thin. The way she's making me feel is like she loves kind of taking walks more in the evening, so it's not quite dark. She had a tendency when she laughed, she'd like literally put her head back, and her laughter was, I know this might sound so cliche, but like almost magical. It reminds me of like tinkling of bells or something. It was just like an infectious laughter. She's had a way of making any situation better, is what I'm being made to feel. She shows me, I do feel that she did have a daughter. She shows me a little girl. She looks to be about maybe 5 years old. She has like longer dark hair like her mom. I can't help but wonder if the scene, if they're on like at a wedding or something, or some kind of celebration, because her dress, even though it looks like more of a plain summer dress, it almost seems a little bit on the fancier side. Her daughter is wearing almost like the same version of the dress, like white, and it has a little bit more frills to it. Can anyone resonate with her so far? She is also showing me a man. I do feel that maybe he was her husband or significant other at the most. He's taller than her. She kind of comes up to his shoulders. He's got broad shoulders. I do feel that he's Caucasian. His hair is a lighter brown. I'm starting to feel that this was, again, like a family celebration of some sort. It's like they're all matching, like mom in the white dress, daughter in the white dress. I see him wearing, they look like khaki colored pants and a white dress shirt. His hair is kept shorter. I do feel that this family was very fit. He's got like broad shoulders, kind of a little bit muscly, like not over like bodybuilder type, but from what I'm feeling from them is like, I just keep hearing from her, clean eating. And she is showing me like her also another scene where she's like in the kitchen and she's like cutting, it looks like spring onions. And she has this way of like, I think the term is called julienne, her vegetables, like the thinner strips. I know that, so she's really like emphasizing the love of family and togetherness, importance of time. She's also showing me another scene too. I see her in a hospital bed, and it's like she has this wrap around her head. I don't see her hair, so I feel that she might have went through cancer. I do see as she's laying in this bed, it's like I can see the IV and her kind of just laying back on the pillow and just being tired. And then I just see again who I suspect to be her husband and the little girl. And it's like she perks up and she's like, even though she's tired, she just gives a smile because it was really important for her to let them know that she's okay. I keep hearing her whispering, especially to her husband, to be brave. It's okay. Can anyone recognize her or any of the information that I've given so far?
Doesn't seem like so far anyone is owning up to her.
Okay.
So
I'll just see if she has a message and then I'll just ask her to step aside.
yeah, last night with Nicole brought to somebody and she had a similar thing, and then not 5 minutes after we were done, I was notifications out my ears of somebody, that's my son, that's my son.
Oh, I've been there. Oh my goodness.
And they're
It's
like
you
5 minutes late or something. Yeah. So anyway.
So she is just letting me know that for her family, she says for her husband, she's so proud. He's doing a beautiful job raising their daughter. I do feel some time has passed because from when I saw that little girl, she looked to be about maybe 5. I would put her maybe about 13 now. Her hair is shorter. The daughter, so from what this lady is showing me, so her hair is shorter, kind of chin length. I see her with like headphones over her head, and it's really cute because I can see the dad. He looks a little bit more older now, tired, but he's doing his best keeping it together, is what she's saying. I see him trying to talk to his daughter, and then he like lifts up the headphones and she's like, hey. So that's just your wife, if you're here, is indicating that, she still watches and she's still very much around. She says, you're doing a beautiful job. She's so proud of the both of you. She's showing me her putting her face to the little girl's face, and she like scrunches up her nose. I feel that this was something that they did together. Kind of reminds me of like that, Eskimo kisses, but I keep on thinking, so when she does that, she keeps showing me images of a bunny. So I'm not too sure if maybe you guys called it like bunny kisses or something. Sorry, she's just sending so much love. And for her daughter, she says, Mommy is always with you. I hear you. And I love you so very much. So
I'm
sorry.
not sure. It's okay. Courtney Jean, I'm not sure if she's actually she said my mother passed a year ago and she was surrounded by my dad and her daughters. The headphones, my dad bought those for my daughter. And I have a younger daughter that makes scrunch faces.
Okay. Can you, so I'll just say the description of, because I do feel that when this lady passed, she was younger, in her 30s.
That sounds like, she said, that sounds like my mom. She was so full of love.
So was your mom so at first I was like feeling like more Hawaiian descent, but also she could have been Filipino descent as well. Did your mom have like longer straight hair kind of down to her back? It was I almost want to say like it looked very, very either dark brown or black. Um, this lady is shorter. I would put her maybe like 5'4", 5'5" at the most. She's thin build. The memories that she was showing me early on, I would have put her maybe in her like early 30s. I do feel that she passed when her daughter was still young, around maybe about 5 years old. And then she was showing me her daughter looks a lot like her. She has a husband who is Caucasian with lighter brown hair. Okay. Well, thank you, Courtney. So Courtney Jean says she had cancer but was 60. That is not my mother. No, her hair was shorter most of her life and she liked it blonde. Okay, Courtney. Thank you, though, for speaking up. And you know what? Still have faith. Never know, mom might pop by. So I'm just going to thank this woman and for her message. And I hope that if someone who knows her family can relay this message to them, that she is proud of her husband for stepping up and taking care of their daughter. She loves them both very much. So I do have another gentleman stepping forward. He wasn't that tall in life. I'd maybe put him about 5'10" at best. He has a shorter, darker hair. He's showing me him wearing a baseball cap. I would put him maybe in his later 40s at most. I do feel that he did like to play baseball because as he's stepping forward, he shows me him in a t-shirt and you know those pants that like baseball players wear? Those funny little white pants. And he's also showing me him carrying, it looks like a duffel bag with a few different baseball bats in it. Like I could see the ends of them sticking out of the duffel bag. He has a way of kind of like, he has this like crooked smile. I feel from him, he's really easygoing. He does wear glasses. So his glasses are they're a little bit different. They look like small little round spectacles. They're gold wire frame. I do feel that he would wear them on a day-to-day basis, but like when he was playing baseball or something, he would take them off. He's making me aware that it's just he didn't want to break them. So with him, his eyes are like, he's got really round, expressive eyes. It's kind of funny because you wouldn't think those glasses, you wouldn't think that they would suit him. But I really feel that he was the type of person to wear or do what he wanted, because if he liked it, he liked it. That was that was him. I feel that he was very friendly towards other, very easygoing, just really give you the shirt off his back type of person. I do feel that, at times people would take advantage of that. He was just saying that, because he was shorter than a lot of the other guys, they would almost not like make fun of him or be mean, but he's saying that he would sometimes be the butt of people's jokes. But he's showing me, it's not that he was a pushover, but he was just like, he didn't like confrontation. Would anybody be able to take him? Just gonna see if he can give me anything else. So he's also showing me, besides like baseball, he also really enjoyed like cars, like those muscle cars. He's showing me, it looks like he's at some kind of, I don't know what it would be, like I just see a bunch of different types of like, those muscle cars. I feel like it reminds me of almost like a fairground experience, but more of a showing off your vehicle. I do feel that he did volunteer a lot too, because as he's walking around and admiring these cars, he's showing me him wearing the orange vest. And I just keep on hearing like volunteer. Would anybody be able to take him?
So there's a person in the group that said, Melissa Nicole said, keep describing. But Melissa, I think Sarah said a lot of things, and it would be polite for you at this point to say, I think that might be somebody. Like, I think it might be my brother or my husband or whatever. It's just polite at this point, because Sarah's said quite a few things.
So when
You don't have to tell us his name. You don't have to say everything else about him. All you have to say is, I think this might be my brother. That's all. And then Sarah can hone in and okay. So Melissa Nicole is saying, I think it's mine.
So
okay.
He's just quickly showing me. Okay. So also Amber Sanchez says, some of that sounds like my son-in-law and brother-in-law. They both passed away. Baseball and cars, definitely. I meant father-in-law. Sorry, that's fine, Amber. So when would you understand, like when he smiles, he almost had like little spaces between his teeth. Again, he just has this like such a innocent look about him. Like he had this kind of like wide-eyed look. I'm just really getting like from what I feel. And he's laughing at me because he's saying, you're making me sound like a Disney character. But it's just like for him, if I saw this man in person, I'd be like, that guy doesn't have a mean bone in his body, is what I'm getting. Like, so I'm just going to recap on how I see him. So I would put him in his 40s. He's has short hair. And when I say short, almost like kind of like it's been buzz cut, or not like shaven off completely, but dang, I wish I had a. Well, I'm just gonna say buzz cut for those of you who know what buzz cut is. um, he liked to wear baseball hats. I do feel that he enjoyed playing baseball because when he first stepped forward, he was showing me him wearing a t-shirt and the baseball pants. For those of you who know what that means, it's like the uniform pants. I see him in cleats. He was carrying a duffel bag, and I could see the handle part of the bats poking out. He was showing me that he also really enjoyed muscle cars. I do feel that he been to events where they were on display, is what I meant earlier, but my mind was bleh. And I do feel that he volunteered at some of these events as well as admired the cars, because he's showing me him wearing an orange vest with the yellow reflection on it. And I did hear like volunteer. He was just very involved in his community, is what he's making me feel. He does have kind of when he smiles, at first it's like kind of closed lip, little bit crooked smile. He has like a few, when he shows me like a big smile, and his teeth, there are some gaps between his teeth. He's showing me glasses, and these glasses, like, they look round framed and they're a little bit smaller. I'm not sure if these were his day-to-day glasses or a pair. I do feel that, he marched to the beat of his own drum. He wore what he liked and did what he liked. So I'm just going to see. So Amber, let's see. Amber Sanchez says, he was so nice and was very giving to anyone. Amber says he loved hats and volunteered for many years for baseball. Okay. And basketball. So Amber says, yes, he got my brother-in-law, who also passed, to get an old Nova. He was in 50s, but my brother-in-law was 20. So Amber, do you believe this? You said earlier that this would be your father-in-law. Would you understand? So I felt that he was, like, to me, he looked to be maybe like later 40s. Would you understand that he looked younger for his age and his height around 5'10"? Like, I feel like he was shorter. And so Amber says, I'm wondering if it's kind of both. And, that is very much possible. So lately I've been noticing on my lives that I've been getting a lot what we call piggybacking. And that's just usually when two spirits come in together. So I'm just going to see if I could just kind of separate the two just a little bit. Amber, so would this be a father and son? So, I do see a younger man with him. He was a little bit taller. His hair was more fuller. He was just showing me him putting his arm around the older gentleman and kind of like giving him a side hug. They look quite alike, but I feel that the son kind of favored his mother's looks a bit. I see his dad in him a lot. By that, I just mean like certain features. They both have the same eyes. So where the father, I see his nose a little bit more rounder at the tip. I see the son is a little bit more narrower, and I do feel that he got that more from his mother's side. Would you understand that? Okay, so Amber says, because my brother-in-law would wear the different style sunglasses. Okay. So would you understand when I see the son, he's wearing a maroon colored t-shirt and blue jeans. I feel for him, I feel that he was good at sports as well, but I really get that he was more kind of quiet, was like to, spend his time either like reading a book or just, typical like young guy stuff, hanging out with his friends. And did he know his way around like a car, like working? Um, you mentioned the old Nova. Was it kind of like I don't want to say silver color, but almost like a I keep my, for those of you who know the color for the car, my mom has this van. It's the color's called like a sandstone. It's almost as if you would kind of like mix kind of like a silver, gold, and like a tan color together, or a very, very light tan. Anyways, he was showing me him kind of like he has the lid of the not the trunk, oh my goodness, the engine hood lifted up, and I could see him like tinkering around it. I do feel that he was very smart and self-taught. Like he didn't always know his way around how to fix a car, but he was like determined to like figure it out, if that makes sense. Oh, okay. Amber says it was green sparkly. Okay. Would you understand about him being able to fix cars? Like, I'm not saying that he was like a mechanic or anything, but he knew enough to, keep it going to the next. Okay, so Amber Sanchez says he did know some stuff about cars. Okay. So I'm just going to ask them if they have any messages for you. So both of them right away said they said, we want to let everyone know that we're here, we're safe, we hear you all. They're showing me an older lady. I would put her like in her 50s. She has darker hair. It kind of comes to her shoulders. She's shorter. And I keep feeling that this might be the wife and mother of these two gentlemen. They're just showing me them like standing beside her and like giving her hugs. Your father-in-law wants to say that he's so proud of how the family came together, because that's a big loss to not only lose the head of the household, the father, but the son as well. He's just saying, especially for his wife, to let her know that he's got your guy. He says, I have our son, he's safe, He says, I'm still watching out for him, and I watch out for all of you. I do feel, was it the son that passed first? He was kind of laughing, and I heard him say, he goes, Dad, he goes, I found you here. I just want you to know that, you know, they are both together. They come and see each of you very often. Your husband, is he the oldest? His brother is just, I hope you would understand it, but he comes up to him and he shows me him like kind of like playfully punching his shoulders, and he goes, he says, he goes, bro, he goes, I'm still better looking. But he's joking and laughing about it. So I don't know if that was just something that they would go between each other. So Amber says, I think he would say that my father-in-law was murdered. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Amber. And Amber says, yes, he is the oldest. And so I just want you and your family to know that, you know, they are together, they are at peace, and they do still very much spend their time with you all. So for your father-in-law, I don't know why, because have you or your husband been asking for signs? And he keeps on showing me baseballs. So I'm not, it's really weird because he was showing me, it looked like a ball diamond, and I don't see anyone else around. I do see a man, a taller man, so I'm not too sure if this is your husband. But it was like him standing there, and I just saw all of a sudden this like baseball kind of like come out of nowhere, like just roll to him. So I do feel that some of the signs from your father-in-law are baseball related. It does not necessarily mean that it has to be a physical baseball. He says, trust. He says, trust in me, trust in what you get. I do feel that some of the signs that he shows, I feel that like people in the family, they'll think of him, but then they're like, oh no, that's too much of a coincidence. They just both want you to know that those moments where something just seems coincidental or just out of the blue, especially when they pop up into your mind, just to know that that's them confirming that, yes, it's them. Amber says, haha, yes, they would wrestle all the time. And definitely he would say he is the best looking. So Amber, I just want you to say, I want to say that they are very much okay. I do feel that your brother-in-law was also somewhat of a prankster. And I don't know if he's been trying to play a little bit of jokes, especially on your husband. So again, I'm like, I really want to say this is your husband. Is your husband a little bit taller, has darker short hair? He's how your brother-in-law and your father-in-law are showing, he's in like gray sweatpants, white t-shirt. And I see like that one incident with this baseball. And then I see it's like he's sitting by himself. It looks like on a sofa. And then I feel that he's home alone. Sorry. But has he ever mentioned of hearing all some like tapping or something on the walls? I do feel that is your brother-in-law trying to like just kind of mess with him jokingly.
I just wanted to read. She said, yes, they would wrestle all the time, and definitely he would say he is the best looking. And she said, yeah, yes, he was, and I would believe he would.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just going to thank both of them for coming through. So yeah, their message is just basically, we're here, we're still with you, we hear you. And they're just sending so much love. And they say the one thing for everyone, because I do feel like how they're making me feel, it's like the whole of the family. I keep on hearing, you know, that song, Signs. I'll have to like try to I'll like find out the name of that song and see if I could put it in with the comments later. But their thing is, they're trying to send the signs, but you just have to trust in yourself and trust in them. So Amber just says, thank you, Sarah, so much. We love and miss them so much. And they love, and they say they misuse, but they miss like the physical, where they could just come up and hug you and you know they're there and talk to you. They say that we still like talk to them and hug them. It's just, it's different, but just they want to make sure that everyone knows that they are very much around. Let's see. Oh, sorry. So I do have another lady stepping forward. She's a little bit on the shorter side. I would put her maybe about 5'2", shoulder length hair. It's a lot. I want to say it's like almost like a golden blonde. A little bit. So she's showing me, I feel that at times she would have like the top straight and a little bit of curl on the bottom, but there has been times where she would have, it seemed like it was like all kind of curled and a little bit poofed. I would, the age that she's showing me, I would put her maybe in her 50s. She's so she's laughing, and she says, you can say it. She goes, she's a little bit on the plumper side is what she's saying. She goes, she's very bubbly personality. She's got hazel eyes, just a smile that just made you feel so welcomed. So she's showing me her, I think it's like t-shirt season over there. She is wearing a t-shirt. It's like a light blue color. I see her in black capris and white running shoes. Oh, and then she's showing me that she has like ankle socks. They're white ankle socks, which I thought was kind of odd that she would like, hey, like show me, hey, I have socks on with these. She's saying that it's important to wear socks with your running shoes because she goes like that. She's like, if you don't, your feet just get sweaty. I think that was kind of like her little pet peeve, that if you're wearing running shoes, you must wear socks. She's letting me, it's funny because earlier when she came in, she's like, yes, I know I'm plump, but she's like, I'm healthy. And she's laughing at this because she shows me like her being active. And by this, I just mean like she shows me her, it's like she's not doing like jogging, but almost like speed walking. And then she shows me her like doing some yard work. She has a little bit of flower beds, but nothing fancy. And then I keep on here. It's funny. She goes, she goes, I was always like, trying to watch my weight or exercise. And then she shows me her like, she looks around and then she like opens up this tin and I see cookies. So I do feel that even though her outward appearance was like all about health and trying to be healthy, but she did have a sweet tooth. Can anybody recognize her? So Brandy, Ryan Buchan, sorry if I said your last name, not the greatest, says could be my friend Tara. She's been trying to come through lately and had cancer. Brandy says Tara had flowers and was at my place doing the garden always, but in the end she couldn't. So Brandy, would you be able to take the description of her? She had so her hair was blonde, but it wasn't like a platinum blonde. It reminds me of this kind of like golden honey hue. Hazel eyes, a little bit on the heavier side. I feel that she did she's jokingly and like saying, she was active and everything, but she had a sweet tooth. Brandy says she wore those clothes too. Yes, short and shoulder length, blondish red. I'm just going to see if she can show me. Oh, so one of the biggest clues too that I really feel, did she have a thing about needing to wear socks with like running shoes or any closed toe type of shoe? Brandy asked her about her mustache. So, would you understand as soon as I read that, and because like she's kind of like looking over my shoulder, and she saw that, and she's like goes like this, and her eyes went big, and she's scolding you like in a friend like laughing manner. She goes, why would you bring that up? She's saying you never mind about any mustache. She says I don't have no mustache. So I do feel, Brandy, that I am with your friend Tara. Brandy says yes, she did wear socks always, and that Brandy says I used to bug her about socks. Brandy says I have a video of me trying to wax it. She's just saying, well, fine, sure, just air out all my dirty laundry. I do feel that both you and her had just that, it wasn't just friend relationship. It was like more to it. And, for every one of us, we're lucky if we have that close relationship with someone. She was just wanting you to know that, she's very much so. She says, I am free. She goes, just because she says that cancer, it might have won. She goes, I didn't let it win for a long time. As in, she's not in any pain. When she was going through it, was she starting to lose her hair? I know that is very common when dealing with cancer, but she's making me feel that, you were there through thick and thin. She says, even when I felt at my lowest, and she was just saying, she goes, what I lacked in confidence, I made up for in like jokes. Would you understand, Brandy, that I feel like she didn't always have the best confidence in herself, and she kind of had this habit of making herself the butt of a joke. It was like almost like she would say something funny about herself, especially meeting new people, because she felt it's better for her to say something than have someone else. And she's just making me feel that, especially for you, when she would do that, you'd kind of be like, why are you doing that? You don't, she's just saying that, especially with her going through everything, you were her, she's saying you were her ride or die, and she couldn't have been more happier. So Brandy just says she had lung cancer and hung on for too long. The day she left, I took her girl for the day, and she passed while we were gone. And yes, she has thinner hair for sure. At the end, she wanted to drive the Camaro and said, let's go for one last ride. She knew. Brandy says, yes, she was funny. Brandy says she left 2 kids behind, her son, Brock, and Paige, my kid's friend. You kind of took the kids almost as a mother, like how she's saying is like you took her children almost like in as your own, like you were being a mother figure for them. And she says, thank you so very much. She says that you also, not only do you keep track of her kids and make sure that they're doing okay, but you also talk to them a lot about her. She says that she couldn't, sorry, she's like wiping her eyes. She says, I couldn't have asked or been more blessed for a better friend. She says, if no one wants to like mention me because, they're scared or something, she goes, but not my friend Brandy. She's always talking, like you're always mentioning her, bringing her up. Or do you often think like what would Tara do in situations? Because I feel like you two were one and all, she just wants you to know that, she's always going to be there by your side. She's so grateful that you're there for her and you're there for her children. And she says, girl, she says, when it's your time to get over here, she goes, we have so much to catch up on. She says, ooh, she goes, I got some tea to spill. She's laughing. So Brandy just says, I tried to help them. They're doing surprisingly well without her. Yes, I try to talk about this with her. They are skeptic. Brian used to grab her by the shoulder when she was over. He passed just before her, and she was afraid to come to my house because of it. So Brandy just says, left love, that's great news. So just know that, know that Brandy, she's still very much around you. And she says that she hears you. She says, I hear her. And she goes, I keep just chattering back at her. She's like, sooner enough, she'll hear me. Or it's kind of funny. So that scene in Sheldon Cooper when he's like going like this to Leonard, and Leonard's like, what are you doing? So she's kind of showing me like this, like she's trying to like focus so you could hear her. But she says one day I'll get it. She's like, someone's going to get it, me or her. And that just from what that I mean, like the communication. So I just want you to know, she's doing good. She says, she's like, I'm still there around. When she would come over, did she like to kind of like put her arm on your kitchen like cover counter area, and you guys would like share coffee and that together? So she was saying that was kind of like her favorite time. She would just come right over, and it was either she was at your place or you hers, but girl time was very important for both of you. She's just showing me that she still very much does that. She says, I come every day and I have my cup of joe, and she says, I'm leaning on the counter, and she's like, she's watching you and hearing you, and she's like, I'm talking back. She's like, one day she'll hear me. She goes, well, I guess today was that day. So I'm just going to thank her for coming tonight. Thank you for coming. Okay. So I do have another gentleman stepping forward. He's taller. I would put him, I want to say 60s, maybe early 70s. He was, he has like really unique facial. So his eyes are a little bit more deep set, higher cheekbones. Right in this part, it's a little bit more concaved, I guess, like very square jawline. He's making me feel like sometimes people would get a little bit intimidated by him because of his height. Like, he was tall. I would put him like maybe 6'2", 6'3" at most. But he has this very gentle nature about him. He's showing me that when he was younger, he had like thick, darker brown hair. As he aged, it got thinner, and then like right in the back, he was kind of getting that bald cul-de-sac kind of look, he's saying. I do feel that, he worked with his hands a lot. He has like really huge hands too. But at the same time, even though he was showing me him like doing outside work, I want to say that at some point in his life, he lived on a farm, because like he was showing me him like grabbing, it looks like hay, like these hay bales, like not the big, huge round ones, but the more square. And he's like kind of taking them and like moving them aside. Even though he did like hard labor work, he also had a hobby where I see him and he has this like, it looks like a magnifying glass, but something, it almost reminds me of something a jeweler would wear. And it's like he's working on this, like, it's very, very tiny. It looks like a model, and I see him painting it. I do feel that like he's showing me so for those of you who have ever seen the movie Beetlejuice, and you know how like upstairs in the attic there was this like whole little town, so he had something like that, and he did a lot of little work like painting the little figurines and setting him up in certain ways. I do feel that like he had a very quiet nature about him. He keeps on like mentioning giant. So I'm not too sure if that was something that people might have called him.
There's actually two people, and I'm trying to put the messages up there for you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I really need to start wearing my glasses. Let me just go back up. So okay. So so Brandy, you said it sounds like Brian, definitely him. Alicia Hamilton says that sounds like my dad. So I'm just gonna do a real quick recap. So this gentleman would have been 50. I want to put actually, not 50s. I would say 60s, 70s. So Alicia says that sounds like my dad, bald head. Alicia, tattoo artist.
Check it out in your image if you look at the top, because there's also messages from the group. Could be my grandfather from Danielle Vaughn. See it right above your head in the image?
I see that.
Okay.
So Danielle, what else could you tell? Like, could you recognize? So this gentleman, he was, I want to say 60s to maybe mid 70s at the age he's showing me. I feel when he was younger, he had like thicker, dark hair, but as he got older, his hair started thinning. I see on the sides, he had his hair was still there. It was just really, really thin. It was short. And then on top in the back, it started balding. This gentleman is like tall, like very tall, like 6'2", 6'3". He's was showing me his hands. He has like big hands. Sorry. Like, there we go. I do feel that he did work with his hands a lot. He was showing me, I want to say he was working on a farm. Like I saw him like moving hay bales and that. But he also had it looked like the best way I can describe it, if you've seen the movie Beetlejuice and when they're in the attic and there's like that like whole little city being set up, he was showing me him like working on like little models and he'd be painting them, and he was wearing like one of those like eye things that jewelers would wear, and I think it's like a kind of like a magnifying. His eyes were deeper set. He had higher cheekbones. His like face was like more slender and a kind of square jaw. People at times would feel a little bit intimidated by him, but that was more to do with like his height. He did have more of a serious face, but he was really kind and gentle man. Would you be able to take any of that, Danielle? See if he wants to show me anything else as well. So, the clothes he's wearing, he was just saying that he did kind of have to like get them a little bit more custom made for like his height and stature. The pants, they're like kind of a navy dress pants style. He was showing me him wearing, it looked like a a sweater. The sweater is kind of more gray color. Uh, he's showing me his shoes. So his shoes that he would wear like kind of day to day, they were like black loafer style. Danielle says he died at 6862. He parted it over to the side because he was balding and he did a lot with hands, but no farm. Okay. How about the other description? Like, would you understand? Did he have kind of like his own little miniature town, like as a hobby? Okay, so Alicia says, not my dad. He was always jeans and t-shirt guy.
If you click in the lower corner, there's a thing to make the video way bigger, so it takes over your screen. You could probably see it easier.
Thank you. So, I'm just going to see if this gentleman has any messages that he would like to pass along. So it kind of goes to how people took him, because like how I mentioned earlier. So before Danielle Vaughn says, yes, just nothing with farm that I'm aware of. He wore suspenders to hold his pants up. So Danielle, would you understand? Because like, I don't know if this was like kind of like a nickname that people gave him, or he's like showing me like younger kids. I don't feel that these kids were like his relatives, but I keep on hearing like giant, and would you understand? Like, because I hear them whispering it, and for him, it's like all of a sudden he would like go like he would like make this like movement like going like this, and it's not that he was trying to scare anyone, but he knew that when he did that, the kids would be like, oh, but in a exciting, this is funny way. Again, he was just very, very kind-hearted. He was just saying, don't judge a book by its cover, because you'll never understand the story unless you open the book. And I just feel like, so Danielle Vaughn says he made his own Christmas villages and displays. Oh, that's so cool. That's a art that not a lot of people still do. His message is just, because I do feel that we're his height, and, like he had that serious kind of look on his face that a lot of times, people would right away like jump the gun and think, oh, he's like, he's scary or not approachable. But he was just saying, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't go through life that way, because unless you stop to actually open the book and read the story, you're never going to know. He was just saying too, he goes, live your life to the fullest. Don't be afraid to do things that you love, even if other people's might find it as like a waste of time. He just says that, family is everything, but so is finding your independence. So I'm not too sure, Danielle, if you've had like self-doubt or maybe you have your own like little quirkiness, but your grandfather is just kind of saying, from what I understand, and I do feel that this is a message for all of us, is, embrace your quirks, live life for you, do things that make you happy, and don't worry about those people who want to sit and judge you because they didn't take the time to get to know you or open your book and read your story. He just says that, he says, I'm always around my family. I love them very much. And he's saying, and I just feel that, some people might have been wondering what he does throughout his days. He says that he relaxes, and he was showing me all the different little displays that he's been working on. So he says he's got a lot of time on his hands. He's just saying, do things that you love. I just want to thank him for coming in tonight. And thank you, Danielle, for recognizing him, and for each and every one of you that have recognized your loved ones tonight. The main thing that I want each of you to know that, our loved ones are safe. And they're still very much around us. And yes, they hear you. To trust in yourself about the signs. I do feel that, like, when I say trust in yourself about the signs, is there'll be things where you think it's them, and then there'll be things where without a doubt that it's them, and just trust in those.
All right. Well, that's beautiful. Well done, Sarah. Great job.
Thank you.
We'll get better at this whole live thing. Was it when you made it bigger?
Yeah, it was so much easier. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Just trying to find a way for you to be able to just read the messages. And you can't see the group messages, so I have to bring those over manually. So Danielle, by the way, said thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
In the group. So, because when they're in the group, you can't see them in this software. So I'm glad you did it, Sarah. Well done. I'm glad you did it, and you did a great job. Beautiful messages. And I hope that all of you found some sort of comfort in this, whether you at least put to sleep some of your skepticism or whatever it is. Remember, you can always connect yourself. You can always connect yourself. Always you can. Okay. And remember that you can easily book with Sarah at her website, and you can obviously see the link right up there, right? Hopefully. And so you can see that, and just to let you know, you can always book with Sarah there, and she's available. And the thing is that, remember that mediumship takes energy, right? It takes energy, it takes time, and that's why we sometimes ask, we do these little free readings once a week or whatever. For each reader does one like once a week, so you end up there's some free readings here just about every day, so that you can get to know the readers, because I want you to be happy, and so does the reader. Both of us want you to walk away with a satisfied reading. And at Psychic Insights, you always get guaranteed you will get a good reading, or we'll give you your money back. Okay. We just don't even want your money. If it wasn't a good reading for you, we'll just give it back to you. Okay. So we hope that you understand this. We hope that you will take the time to book if you can afford it. And if not, you know what? There's going to be some more readings tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. There's actually 2 readers. Jamie will be doing live in Zoom, and tomorrow night, a new reader, her name is Tabby. So if you haven't met Tabby yet, this will be your chance to meet Tabby. Tabby's an energetic healer and a medium, and she has she's an interesting person here in Colorado. So I hope you all come to meet her on Thursday night about this time. So she's in the same time zone as us, Sarah. And
Nice.
right, because a lot of times I'm doing it at like 5 o'clock my time, 7 o'clock East time. Anyway, and then I think I'm gonna announce it after this. I'm probably gonna go live on Friday evening. So I look forward to that. If you haven't caught my lives, sometimes I'll do some readings. I usually also channel the star being. The star being's been tapping me all week. But of course, I've been recovering from surgery, and I'm like, really? And the star being is like, yes. And I'm like, okay. It's a little weird for me to do. I'm kind of new to it, so hopefully you'll come check that out. Plus, I also do some medium readings and some other things. Please make sure you're following the Psychic Insights page. Somebody asked about stars a little bit earlier. It was just kind of a weird moment for me to interrupt you, Sarah. If you were trying to give stars on Psychic Insights page, I'm still working on setting that up. You have to get to a certain point before you can accept stars, but you can send stars on Divine Androgens page, which is my page. But you can't yet on Psychic Insights, but I was actually working on setting that up today. So hopefully we can get that set up in the next few days. I have to get like my account approved and so that they can see we're legit. And so I highly recommend that you follow Psychic Insights page so that way you know who the legitimate Psychic Insight is, because there's definitely copycats out there of all of us. So be careful of the copycats and the scammers, you guys. Take care of yourselves. Be careful out there. And I wish all of you a beautiful evening and a beautiful day tomorrow. May you wake up being inspired and full of life and grateful. Do you have any parting words, Sarah?
I just want to again thank everyone for coming here tonight, for your patience and your support. And I keep on forgetting to mention this at the end of my last 2 lives, but if you do leave me a review, I appreciate it so very much. It does uplift me and make me just know that, hey, what I'm doing is helping people. So again, I apologize for not showing my gratitude the last few times, but I am very, very grateful. I hope that you all have a beautiful rest of your day, night, morning, wherever you may be. I'm sending you my love to wrap around you, my strength to hold you tight, and my healing light to guide you. And just know it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be okay. Just hold space for your feelings. I want to say a huge thank you to my son, Jonah, for bringing your loved ones through, to every spirit for coming through tonight. A huge thank you to Hollis and to Bright Hawk for making this happen, and for both of them to have the faith and trust in me and to give me that confidence boost. So thank you again, everyone. I truly appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, and if you want to write a review, you don't have to write a review in the group. You can, but you can also write a review right here on the page. If you're watching on Psychic Insights page, there's a place to do reviews, and we deeply appreciate that. And you can totally mention Sarah Redcrow and say how you enjoyed your mini reading. And I encourage you to book a reading, because that's really where you're going to get the greatest reading, because then Sarah can really focus on you instead of having like this piggyback like party experience with like 100 people, you know. It's so much easier in a single reading, isn't it, Sarah? It's so much easier with just one person in front of you. You start adding people and it starts to get more complicated. Even if you have 2 or 3 people, if they all want to connect to the same person, it's easier.
Yes.
But if you have a group of like 50 to 100 people and then you're just doing this is actually more challenging, my friends. So if you're impressed with how Sarah did this, can you imagine what she'd be like in a private reading? I think Sarah's pretty amazing. I always refer her to anyone that has fresh wounds, that's lost a child, or anyone that is really, really in need of a compassionate reading. Sarah's your person. All right.
Thank you.
All right, my friends. Good night.
Night. Bye.
Are you seeking guidance on your spiritual journey? Need help with a vexing problem? Missing a loved one and looking for answers? Look no further than Psychic Insights, a small trusted psychic service offering mediums, psychics, and spiritual coaching. This service is managed by Hollis Taylor, a gifted psychic medium, astrologer, and a compassionate coach. We are dedicated to helping you navigate your spiritual awakening. At Psychic Insights, we provide medium readings and psychic insight to help you plan for tomorrow and make choices for today. Find the support you need, compassionate grief coaching, and astrological insights to help you spiritually grow and transform. Our professional services include well-managed schedules, recorded sessions, and reliable psychic mediums ready to facilitate your transformational experience. Discover more at psychicinsights.life.